Hello everyone, Niev here, and it's time for another installment of my astrological study of the zodiac. So we're on Aries now. Yeah, and I was actually a little excited about Aries. I am a big fan of other fire signs. I'm not a fire sign, but like I'm a fan of Aries, Leos, and Sagittarians. And in fact, I have the only one of those I have in my chart, planets in my chart is Sagittarius, and I have that in 3 planets. But yeah, I'm a big fan of fire signs, and here's the thing with Aries. My husband is an Aries, so so yeah. And I find with Leos, I tend to be pretty good friends with Leos, or I like to be around Leos. But yeah, so my husband is an Aries, and I have a lot of Sagittarius in my chart, and I find that I get along well with other Sagittarians. So in general, I am a fire sign kind of gal. So even though my sun sign is Libra, which is opposite Aries. So yeah, with these astrological studies, I kind of just winging it. I don't have a set way that I'm doing things. This is actually the first time I brought out some of these cards from the Starcodes Astro Oracle. I should have brought them out in the previous videos, but you know, the Starcodes book is actually one of the books that I'm sort of reading through and using during this study. And the other book that I am using is a big one. Oh, it's Parker's Astrology, and I can finally get this in camera a little bit. I had been doing these videos in a different location in our house, mostly because in the wintertime, I can't really be in my ritual room here. Because it's not insulated, and I do have a space heater in here, but yeah, anyway. So I'm in my ritual room. It's finally a little warm enough to be in my room. Last couple of videos I've done has been in my ritual room. So here we are with Aries, and I do have some decoration of the page that I did for Aries. So I think I'm going to go ahead and put that on the screen now while I kind of talk about Aries. So Aries is a fire sign, and in the Starcodes Astro Oracle, it labels it as a Yang sign. The Starcodes book, instead of assigning the polarities as male and female or gendering it like that, this book decides to use the term yin and yang, and Aries is a Yang sign. And it is a cardinal sign. Yeah, so fun fact here, a little bit of my chart, that all 3 of my top signs, my sun, moon, and rising signs, all of them are cardinal signs. The only one I'm missing is Aries. So yeah, I'm a Libra, which is cardinal. My moon is in Capricorn, and I'm a Cancer rising. And all 3 of those are cardinal signs, just like Aries. And cardinal signs are signs that are more action oriented, or the first. That's kind of how I would describe that. So Arians are not only the first in the zodiac, but the first in everything. They are well-balanced Arians can be confident in their quick decisions, but unbalanced Arians may regret their hasty actions. They react with initiative, and they react quickly and swiftly. Like Leos, Arians are natural leaders, though they may not always want the job. And I think that's very true for my husband. He's a natural leader, but he maybe doesn't always want the job, but he is very good at leading people. They're passionate and confident in really everything they do. And sometimes to a fault. It depends on the Arian, of course. But they can also be selfish and impatient. And I just had the thought here how strange it sounds, because I'm saying the word, the word used to describe someone who is an Aries, and it just dawned on me what that sounds like. And I really hope no one's taking it that negative way, but I guess I should just switch to Aries. All right, well, here we go. So when others are indecisive, Aries may find it difficult to hold in their fiery temper, and that is definitely a trait, often a trait of Aries. So speaking of traits, we could talk about some of the keywords with Aries, and the keywords I wrote here, getting them from both the Parker's Astrology as well as the Starcodes and other sources. The keywords I have are adventurous, energetic, pioneering, which is a good one, courageous, enthusiastic, confident, dynamic, quick-witted, selfish, quick-tempered, impulsive, impatient, foolhardy, daredevil, assertive, urgent, forthright, and decisive. So there we go. Yeah, and in my chart, and what I'm doing here, by the way, I'm just reading through what I'm actually writing in the book itself. On screen, you've probably seen me do some decoration of the pages, and then after that, going in and writing in the information. So in my chart, Aries is in the 10th house, and with no planets. And I will discuss that further once we come back from the video of me decorating these pages. All right. Okay, so here is the finished product. Here we go. I hope you like it. So as I mentioned in that voiceover part, my chart, Aries is in the 10th house. And I did also pull out the card from the Starcodes to show 10th house. So 10th house is authority. So there's no planets here. And in fact, it's going to take a while for me to get to the signs that I actually have planets in, because I'll go ahead and in editing, I'll put up just a quick screen grab of my chart to kind of show where all of my planet positions are kind of bunched in one area. So I have Libra, Scorpio, Sagittarius, Capricorn, and that's it. It's pretty much that grouping I have is where all of my planets are. And then I have my rising sign as Cancer. So there's one little bit that's off on the other side of the chart. So it will take a while before I get to any of the signs, any of the zodiac signs that are that I actually have planets in. So 10th house has to do with authority. Yeah, so this is the house of authority and leadership. My 10th house, being ruled by Aries, shows itself by the initial perceptions from others, that I know that I know what I'm doing. I'm not very good at speaking though. But so I kind of get that feeling sometimes, kind of in person. I think I sort of give off an air of competence that I feel like maybe I don't live up to. And that could be my own personal, thing to work through myself. But yeah, I do find that initially people do sort of have that feeling that I kind of know what I'm doing. Or that I'm like someone to look to. And I have found that some people try to come to me for advice or something, and I'm just like, I don't like that kind of stuff. Yeah. So this ruler of the 10th house is also shown in my typical behavior of questioning authority. So yes, absolutely. I kind of see that manifested a little bit in my daily life, with that people kind of think I know what I'm talking about even when I don't, and also I tend to question authority quite a bit. So there we go. The tarot cards associated with Aries, I'm gonna pull out the deck that I feel like best describes Aries, and I'm gonna put these up here. So obviously Aries is ruled by Mars, And I'm going to go ahead and pull out the deck that makes the most sense for that, which is the Mars Power Tarot. So, it's an obvious choice here, but frankly, it fits. So the Mars Power Tarot, of course, it was going to be my pick for Aries. Yeah, totally. Yeah, and I think this deck does a very good job sort of harnessing that Mars power. Motion is the keyword that the Starcodes used. Yeah. I'll do just a few flip throughs of this because I'm also going to pull out some of the cards. Oh, this is one of them that is represented by Aries in the deck. So I'm going to pause and I'm going to do that real quick. Okay, that took a while to find all these cards because I kept looking over them. So the main card associated with Aries is, of course, the Emperor. Yeah, and I can't help but sort of think of some of this in using my own personal experience with an Aries, which is my husband. So I can't help but imagine his personality traits in some of these cards. Yeah, but I do often think of when I pull the Emperor card, I do think about my husband a little bit. It's not my main significator card for him. Usually it's like the King of Wands. And of course, this deck is very strange and weird, and I don't know that I would associate anyone I actually know with the people, like the depictions of the people in this particular deck. But it is the Mars Power Tarot, and it's, definitely associated with Aries. But yeah, because I wouldn't describe either of these two beings as being anything like my husband. So, but the King of Wands is usually my significator card for him. But Aries, the Emperor sometimes does show itself in that manner as well. So there we go. And then the 2, 3, and 4 are the decans, the cards associated with the decans of Aries. So and I kind of I feel that sort of in these cards with the 2 and the 3, they're very much they're directional, and like there's a planning stage with the 2 of Wands, but it goes like immediately into the 3 of Wands, which is very much of a doing sort of card for me. And, a lot of people kind of confuse the 2 and the 3 of Wands because of their meanings are so similar. One, with the traditional imagery, we see the 2 of Wands like looking out or it's kind of planning, and then the 3 of Wands is like looking out and actually like taking those first steps toward doing. It makes sense that these two cards would be associated with Aries. And then the 4 of Wands is very much a kind of celebratory card, but it's also having a lot to do with stability, and it kind of shows that stable force of Aries in that 4 of Wands energy there. And it's also very like family oriented, I think. The 4 of Wands, and how I sort of interpret that anyway. It does sort of lend to the stability of a family unit. So that is the cards associated with Aries. So, in my sort of haphazard way of doing these astrological studies, I did forget to sort of open up some of the books here to sort of show what these books say. And I like to open up the Parker's Astrology because it is a bit of a coffee table style book. So it's massive, it's hardcover, it's got beautiful, pretty pictures. And so I already have it bookmarked. So here was the page on Aries, and it's still quite a little bit too big for the screen here, but I'll do the best I can to show this. So I'm gonna maybe read the top here. It does have that word for Aries again that I suddenly realized once I started speaking sounded like a different word. But all right, so sun sign Arians. want to stand out from the crowd and have the will to succeed. They are basically uncomplicated and direct in their approach and are able to cope in a straightforward manner with the day-to-day problems of life. They strip away everything that is not strictly necessary to the achievement of their goals, whether these are immediate or long term. For example, the menu for tonight's dinner, or the details of a contract. Their ability to see clearly the essential elements of important decisions is both enviable and convincing. And I mean, if there wasn't a clearer description of my partner, yeah, so that definitely describes him. It's funny. I think when someone asks me. People have asked me before, what's one word you would use to describe your husband, and that word would be competent. And yeah, for sure. And the keywords I kind of put in in my journal there. So Aries is the first sign in the zodiac, and it really is the kickstart of anything, of everything. I think that's kind of where I was going with that. So was there anything else I wanted to bring up? So these are very haphazard for me, these videos here, because I'm just kind of making it up as I go along. I'm just kind of loosely doing a study, so I hope you don't mind that it is like this. So yeah, act and motions, those are such good words for Aries. And like I said, I also use Starcodes here, which is pretty good. I think there was something I was sort of thinking of what to say, but it like left my brain. Yeah, this has been an interesting sort of book to go through. Let's see, talking about, so are we back at Aries here? All right, here we go, Aries. Activate was the keyword there. So, because this is the deck that goes with this book, basically. They use act on Aries, and then activate here. So, there we go. I'm just trying to see what we got here. So challenge, headstrong, unstable Aries can imbue a knee-jerk, pugnacious, and rebellious response. Yeah. A compulsively oppositional approach wherever it sits in our chart. Yeah, and that's kind of what I was talking about, where it sits in my 10th house, and I have this sort of... and I've always kind of been like this, don't tell me what to do, like questioning authority sort of attitude. I'm a little difficult to rein in. So the gift of Aries, you slice through the dross, and cut to the chase. Strong and steady, strong and ready, speak your mind. Your Aries encourages you to boldly go where you have not gone before. Nice Star Trek thing there. Here you can be straightforward, honest, and direct, and support others. Aries imbues the strength and courage to take on a challenge and throw off an oppressive situation. Where you have Aries, you can find your own way and hear your own inner calling. Here you start over and have the guts to build from scratch. With added mature thoughtfulness, Aries inspires healthy leadership. So I think that is a great place to end here. There's not much else I can really say about Aries. This was a fun one. Like, it was a little bit more fun to do this one versus some of the other ones, just because of my own relation with Aries. And but like I said, it's going to take a while before I get to any of the placements in my chart, because one of the things I was thinking was to pull out another deck. It was the Radiant Sun Oracle, because it has cards like Aries in this planet, Aries in that planet, or whatever sign in whatever planet, and it's got cards for all of those. And I think once I get to the signs where I actually have planets in, I'll bring out that deck and we can look at those specific keywords. All right, so thank you so much for watching, everyone, and I will see you next time. Bye.